Hi guys, this is Chiche back from Chicharito. Happy Raya holidays to our Muslim friends out there. For the non-Muslims, enjoy your Raya holidays. Do something out of this break that you have. Read a book. Catch up with something with your loved ones, with friends, family, things like that. But just make sure keep social distancing in your practice. Without further ado, I'm making a video today to actually address something I think a lot of people have been asking me in terms of how do you actually start off your investment journey in the stock market. Well, I mean, if you want to invest in stock market, you will need to have something that allows you, right? So that something is actually a brokerage account. And to make things simple, I'm actually gonna walk you guys through, on how you can actually open an account online without actually stepping into a bank. That's right. So the only one that I know so far offering this kind of service is actually Rakuten Trade. So I'll be going through it in a while, like step by step on how I actually did it back then, and also as well as some FAQs that I actually found out through the website itself, and actually quite I would say in detail to actually allow us to understand how the account works as compared to what you would expect from a brokerage account that you should open in the banks. So yeah, let's dive in. What's expected in the Rakuten Trade account. Alright guys, first things first, I'd like to make clear that you in front of the screen watching this video that you have made your own research in terms of what kinds of investments would be suitable according to your risk appetite, and that you've confirmed that proceed ahead with stock investments. So without further ado, let's go on to how we can open a Rakuten Trade account for Malaysian stock trading / investing purposes. First up, go to Google, type Rakuten Trade. First thing that pops up, Rakuten Trade.my. I visited this page many times. Yes, a lot of times, guys. Click on that. Once you go into the page, there's a pop-up that actually warns us on cyber crimes. Click OK, ignore that. Go to open an account. Under there, you'll see, another pop-up. There's terms and conditions, things like that to do with the opening of the account. And I think they have a promo going on. Click OK. And you'll notice that there's actually 3 accounts available for opening. So let's just start off with the cash upfront account. What does it exactly mean, right? So as the name suggests itself, cash upfront means that that account is only based on the amount of cash that you have in your account. Think of it like your bank savings account, right? Where you deposit money in and can withdraw money out, right? So that account you can use to pay for your bills, buy your groceries and things like that. So for the brokerage version, it's called a cash upfront account where it's only used for trading or investing purposes on the stock market. So you would transfer money into this cash upfront account using either a bank transfer, credit card or debit card. Once you've done that, this account allows you to actually use the money inside to buy stocks, and when you sell stocks, the money goes back into this cash upfront / brokerage account. And if you would like to withdraw out money from this cash upfront account, you would do a normal bank transfer to your linked bank or savings account. So it's just as simple as that. So apart from that, let's just see what it actually explains here. So a lot of people do not know that actually for brokerage accounts you actually get a higher interest rate as compared to what you get in a typical savings account in a bank, where I think it's 0.8 something% I once last saw in one of the bank websites. So yeah, for brokerage accounts, seeing how Bank Negara has recently reduced the OPR rate, so our interest rate actually reduced. So now it's actually at 1.25% for a brokerage account. But if I'm not mistaken, before the reduction of the OPR rates, before the COVID-19 fiasco, we're seeing, it was actually around, I think, hovering between 2.3 to around 2.6% per annum, which is actually reasonably high. Do correct me if I got the figures wrong. And you actually get up to 2,000 Rakuten points, so RT stands for Rakuten points, on your first trade. So this is them trying to encourage you to trade more. And also for the brokerage rates, I'm not sure whether it's still as low as back in the years, because I opened mine like 2 years ago. But you can go check out in websites like iMoney or Ringgit Plus, and actually that's where I made my comparisons. And based on my memory, like the lowest free back then was Rakuten, UOB, and Hong Leong brokerage, if I'm not mistaken. So I do give it a check. And yeah, that is like a brief summary of what a cash upfront account is. And oh yeah, just mention CDS fee means central depository system fee, I believe. So CDS is like a system where it ensures that your brokerage account is recorded, so that the stocks are actually tied to your name. Moving on to the dual account. So it's nothing special here. So dual account basically means a combination of cash upfront account together with the contra account, hence named dual. You get two accounts open at the same time. So, cash upfront account, you are familiar already based on the explanation a while ago. So what's contra account? The key thing to note here is that you're basically trading on leverage. So as you can see here, you actually have an increased trading limit of up to 5 times based on your collateral. So I guess they're trying to say here is that this is my understanding. So do correct me if you think there's a better understanding to this. But yeah, what I can understand is that let's say you got 1,000 ringgit in your contra account. So what Rakuten does is that they'll allow you to trade up to 5 times of that, so up to 5,000 ringgit. So you can use that to buy even more stocks than you can with the limited amount of cash you have. So the catch here is that with this higher leverage you're using, your potential downside is there as well. So if you can earn 5 times more, the thing to note here is that you can actually lose 5 times more as well. So this is actually more suited, I would say, towards experienced traders in the market. They know how to position their purchases and know how to cut loss, and when to buy in the market. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're a beginner in the stock market. This is more towards people who really know their risk and what they are willing to lose in the market. And another key thing to note here is that the transactions have to be settled within 2 days. So let's say you already exceeding the 1,000 ringgit you have to clear this so-called leverage or debt that you've incurred within 2 days. 2 days here referring to 2 business days or transaction days, basically when the stock market is open. So apart from that, you actually get more Rakuten points as well, for actually opening this dual account. I guess it's double of what you see in the cash upfront account. And for brokerage fees, it actually remains the same. Yeah, I don't think Rakuten actually has like a different brokerage rate brackets for each of these accounts. So yeah, that's about it for the dual account. Okay, we'll be going into the last account, that you can open, actually not account, but accounts combo, which is the cash upfront and Raku margin account. So as you can see, instead of opening 1, 2, and 3 accounts, it's actually either one account, 2 of these accounts, or 2 of another pair, which is the cash upfront and the Raku margin account. So what is the Raku margin account about, and how is it different from the contra account, right? I think that's what everyone's thinking here. So think of Raku margin, as the description says here, as a credit card. So meaning that if I were to open a cash upfront account, I got cash inside, right? So if you were to open a Raku margin account, regardless of the cash amount you have, they would actually offer you a sort of like a credit card facility limit up to an amount of 100,000. It says up to here, so I guess, right, I'm presuming here that depends on your income, how much you earn every month. They would offer you a limit based on their calculations. And what needs to be highlighted in terms of the margin account is that you incur the debt, but you don't have to pay it back within like a certain short time frame. Like the contra account, we have to pay within 2 days, right? But for the margin account, I'm not too sure what the term is, but I believe it's money, since it works somewhat like a credit card. Because I roughly had a check on the Rakuten website, and I believe the interest was like 6.8% per annum on any outstanding balance or debt that you have. So in a way, I think of it like you are using more leverage to buy stocks, but you are paying interest in turn for using this leverage that you have. And they also actually allow you to extend your your debt payment date. Let's say you can't pay by the end of this month, you can extend it to the next month, but there's like a rollover fee incurred. So what is rollover fee? Yeah, it's stated over here. On your first Rakuten trade and rollover fee waiver. And that's it. Yeah, that's for the margin account. It's basically like a contra account, but you don't have to pay it back in a very short time frame, but rather you are allowed bigger time frame, not to say no time frame, but a longer time frame to pay back, and with interest incurred as well. So, and the brokerage fees remain the same between 7 to 100, and the amount of Rakuten points that you have is 4,000, same as the dual combo as well, since you're opening two accounts. I guess they're going with a 2,000 Rakuten trade points per account based on what I'm seeing here. So yeah, if you are a beginner, emphasizing again, open a cash upfront account. Don't open the dual or combo one. That's my advice. Well, of course, unless Rakuten has a promotion, like in my case, they actually had a promotion opening a dual account, and it would give an Oxford shirt. So I actually opened a dual account, but I did not use my contra account at all. So I'm just opening for the sake of getting the gift, and just maintaining the cash upfront account. So that is all for the part in terms of how does these three types of account opening differ from each other. Alrighty, now that we have gone through what each of these accounts entail, you just basically need to go to the sign up button to actually open your account. So give it a good click, and you just have to fill in your basic info, your personal info, and your financial info, and you're good to go. Trust me, this whole thing takes very fast. I think it was between like 5 to 10 minutes if you're not fast in typing and you've got all your details. And based on my vague memory, once again, since I opened this 2 years ago, you just basically need your identification document, which is your IC or passport, and a proof of address, like a utility bill or bank account statement, I believe. And financial info, I believe, will be to do what you're working as, what's your monthly income. Personal info, not too sure what it is. I can't really go through this since I already opened an account, but they're actually fairly straightforward questions that I think no one would have difficulty filling in. But generally, if you have any questions, you can always approach the Rakuten staff through this FB Messenger icon here. They actually reply quite fast. I actually messaged them on a weekend, and they replied me first thing in the morning, on a business day morning. So yeah, that's what you can do if you have any questions. Before I forget, guys, if you feel this video has been actually helping you in terms of your understanding of the different accounts that Rakuten Trade has, do support me by using my referral code here. It's actually a win-win situation for both of us. Yeah, on top of the bonuses that you would actually get based on what you've seen earlier in the page with the blue, red, yellow, and options. Because if you were to actually refer to their referral program, which is called Raku Friends, so if you were to use my referral code, both of us actually earn 500 Rakuten Trade points, which is actually quite good, right? I mean, like, you don't lose anything at all. So why not just start keying in my referral code, and we can both earn. And for those who are kind of lazy about copying this whole thing, I'll be actually including my referral link, so it's like a URL in the description below for you guys to open. So yeah. And oh, I forgot another thing once again, silly me. Before you actually proceed to open and also to key in the referral code, right? There's actually a campaigns page over here. I'll attach this link at the description below as well. But basically, they do have promotions from time to time. So summer share, this is a small one. So as you can see here, like for example, for this one on the Fly Anna campaign, where we have to open a Raku margin account, and you have to perform a trade, if I'm not mistaken, or not actually, just opening an account, you can actually be in the winning towards this flying with ANA, which is like a Japanese airlines. And apart from that, even if you are not up for margin accounts, if you are opening a dual account, which is the cash upfront and contra, you can actually get to win big in terms of the big points, which are Air Asia points, or B Infinite, which can help you in your points to exchange for Starbucks, Presto Mall, 7-Eleven, Caltex, Zalora, and so on, or even for your bonus link points, which can be converted for Shell usage. So yeah, just make sure to take note of this as well, just to keep yourself informed in terms of like if you were to open this account, what do you stand to win, or also what do you stand to actually exchange for after you have opened for the account, you see. Now we're gonna move on to the FAQs. This is for those who are still very skeptical. I understand you thoroughly on how you think. Alright, sounds too good to be true. It's like a low brokerage. It's easy open, things like that, right? So let's dive into the FAQs. To keep yourself educated before you do anything too rash, right? But do note that there's actually a long list of things that that needs to be gone through here. So I'll be like cherry picking certain topics which I feel will be very beneficial towards the opening of your Rakuten account. So yeah, do bear in mind with that. So first things first, what is Rakuten Trade? So for your info, it's actually a collaboration, I would say like a joint venture between Rakuten Securities Incorporated Japan and Kenanga Investment Bank. So you have to take note it's actually a company which is owned by these two, but I'm not too sure of the proportions of share that each company has. And also it's the Malaysia's first full-fledged online equity broker, meaning that they actually have the registration, the whole process where they get you your account online, so you don't have to go to a physical office, like how you would do with a bank, when you're going to open a brokerage account. So everything's online, even the app, the customer service, things like that, everything online. And what else? Yeah, these two. Who can have access to Bursa Anywhere? Like for those who are new, so Bursa Anywhere is an app initiative by Bursa Malaysia, the organization in charge of managing our stock exchange. So Bursa in this case, knowing that investors may have like brokerage accounts here and there, like maybe 3 to 4 in different banks, they came up with this app such that it can centralize the how do I put this? Centralize and to sum up all the holdings under one account, so you can monitor your whole portfolio performance along the way. So you don't have to open like individual bank brokerage apps just to see how much is the percentage change in this one and the other bank and so on and so forth. But for Rakuten Trade in this case, this is not applicable, and we will dive in more later under the nominee account section on why this is not so. Yeah, we'll go through more in detail after this on that. Up next, nominee account as promised. Let's click on that. For inactive account and dormant account, I'm not going to touch too much because it basically just tells that like for a period where you're inactive, where you don't touch in terms of like putting in money, or like in terms of like not trading, as in not buying or selling your stocks for like this certain period amount of time, then they will categorize it as inactive or dormant, and you have to contact them to actually activate it or to change it from a dormant state to an active state. So it's simply put as that. To actually dive in more, click on these plus bars to go understand it further. What I'd like to touch today would be instead on what a nominee account is, because thing is a lot of people usually get confused with the direct CDS account which you will open typically with your bank brokerages like Hong Leong, Maybank or UOB per se. So just to explain to you guys, like for a regardless of Rakuten or a bank brokerage account, you would need to have a CDS account, a Central Depository System account, which is in accordance with Bursa rules. So with a typical bank brokerage account, if you were to buy a stock, right, or if you were to receive dividends, it will all be attached under your name. So if let's say I'm with Maybank brokerage, I were to buy a Harta Lega stock, and the name of that stock will be under my name, CRG Chuan. Whereas if I were to buy it with a nominee account, so nominee account here, it works in such a way that I have nominated Rakuten Trade as my nominee to actually help me be the intermediary or middleman person to help manage the buying, the selling, and the dividends, things like that. So hence you can see over here that the Rakuten Trade, a CDS account, take note, it's still a CDS account, but it's held under a company's name, which is Kenanga Nominees Tempatan Asing Sdn Bhd, Rakuten Trade Sdn Bhd for all, and my name will be here for Siachi Chuan. If you notice when you do sign up with them already and your statements do arrive, you notice this full name before your address. So it means that, yeah, they are being the person, so basically any stocks you buy or sell will come under Kenanga Nominees and Rakuten Trade's name, and they will, put this share under your name in their system. So it's a rather complicated process, and it's not under your name, but it offers you the benefit of opening everything online, and also offering you one of the lowest brokerages in town. So yeah, I hope that is clear with you guys in terms of the differences between a direct CDS account and a nominee CDS account. But suppose apart from the definition of a nominee account, we have to take note as well as the other aspects of it, which is actually highlighted under this section here on the services that it offers and what are the charges. So as stated earlier, the account name is under the joint name of Kenanga and Rakuten for who, so they're representing us. And no, we cannot apply for IPOs. IPOs are like initial public offerings when a company is starting to go public, to offer their shares to be sold to the public. And for the annual report, it's sent to Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad normally. So that means, unlike your typical direct CDS account with banks where, companies actually send you or mail you, their annual reports, you need to request them, from KIBB normally. But, actually annual reports you can get from your company's websites under the investors relations, so it's easy to find. I usually don't request from Rakuten themselves. And yeah, one key thing here, one crucial thing is the AGM or EGM. So AGM is annual general meeting, EGM is extraordinary general meetings. So being a shareholder, you're actually entitled to go to a company's, AGM or EGM, right? Because you get the voting rights, But the thing is that, right, even though you own the shares, but remember how, it's a nominee account. So it's actually, the share that you bought is actually registered under Rakuten/Kenanga's name. So in order to actually have, the right to attend the EGM and to vote, you will actually have to simply email, their customer service, probably through Messenger or through email, to 10 working days before the AGM EGM to make sure that they prepare the necessary documentation such that you are in a way representing them to go to the AGM or EGM. I clearly remember this because I recommended a friend to join Rakuten, but I missed out on this aspect. So he went to the AGM and was told that he couldn't enter due to this reason. So I kind of feel bad about that. Moving on from that, we've got e-dividends as well. No e-dividend, your dividends will be credited. I am presuming here that e-dividend would be like how, I don't know for you guys, but for my dad, because he has a direct CDS account with one of the banks. So what happens is when he receives the dividend, he'll get it through the mail, like a dividend letter stating that, dear who, you actually get a dividend amount of this. But in our case, as a nominee account, that dividend slip or letter will go to Rakuten first, and then after they have sorted things out, verified that it's all okay, then only they will send us a notification through email as well as the online Rakuten platform that we've gotten the dividend amount. So yeah, I don't see this as much of an issue, just that it's more of like someone representing you in terms of all these management of buying, selling, and dividends. And also in terms of corporate action exercises, these are all handled by Rakuten Trade as well, based on instructions from us, and there's no handling fee at all. So corporate action exercises can be, for example, if a company decides to offer treasury shares, basically for every 3 shares you own, the company gave you 1 free share, or they decided, hey, we want to list more shares, and we're offering existing shareholders a discounted price of this newly listed shares. So Rakuten will be doing all these corporate action exercises without any handling fee at all. And forgot to mention that dividends are actually considered corporate actions as well. So yeah, they don't charge any fee in handling your dividend, rights issue, offering shares, share splits, and a whole bunch of other things. And if you were to want to transfer out your stocks to another bank brokerage, it's 10 ringgit per counter. I think other banks also roughly have around the same fee, so I don't think you're losing that much. And your AGM, EGM, there's no fee. You just basically need to communicate with Rakuten or whatever you want. Like, I mean, I've been using it for 2 years so far. I don't really see a need of contacting them too much unless you really want certain documentation or the permission to go to AGMs. Other than that, yeah, I think it's all mentioned at the above. Yeah, I think that's all for this nominee account part. Oh, clearly I was wrong. I actually missed out a teeny weeny bit on this question here. So, who holds my unused funds? So, one thing to note is that before you were to open a brokerage account, is that you will also need to know that like if I were to deposit money into the brokerage account, what happens because the thing is that, remember how there's interest rate, right, in the if you do store money in your brokerage account. So the thing is that when you store money, the brokerage companies actually use your cash, they put it in a trust account. In this case, it's with Kenanga Investment Bank, and they invest it in safe investment assets. I believe could be like a money market FD, such that it generates a reasonable return that they can profit from it and still distribute some of it to investors as well. So one thing to take note here is that we need to know if there's a trust account involved, because the thing is, trust account here ensures that in the case that Rakuten goes bankrupt, or so it ensures that there's someone there to actually redistribute, like all the assets or cash that they hold legally back to all the investors who have a part of that cash with the organization that went bankrupt, or defaulted and everything. So it's very important to take note of this as well. But seeing how they are legally licensed under the Securities Commission, so I don't really see any issue there. But yeah, just to give you a heads up on why you should also look out to see whether the monies that you deposited with the brokerage company is actually entrusted to a trust account. This is a very, very crucial thing, in case anything happens, because we can't really tell how a brokerage company is going to go 5 to 10 years down the road. So this is something crucial to look into too. And about dividends and deposited into a nominee account, I've talked about this, where it's credited into your account directly. Corporate actions exercises as well, we've talked about this, where you have to email or message them if you really want to be, if you really want to participate in any of the company's corporate actions. I think that is all about it, yes, for nominee accounts. And let's just do a quick browse through again on the tabs. Account opening, I explained that earlier in the video. Change your personal details is pretty straightforward. If you want to, you can contact the staff. Contra account, yes, briefly explained, but if you want to know more in detail, look at here. Rakuten margin as well. If you want to know more in detail, go to here. Deposit and settlement, for this one, is pretty straightforward as well, because you have to deposit money into your account. It's pretty much instant, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, do check out here as well. Settlement is more towards like when you buy the stock, when you sell the stock. In most cases, it's not instantaneous, because there's like a rule, I think it was like T+2 transaction. So T is like the transaction day itself, and plus 2 more stock trading days, where the money on the stock has to transact between the buyer and the seller, things like that. iSpeed is the app. Trading, probably some trading tips and things here. Yeah, they also have a day trade rebate program. And if you have any shares from other bank brokerages, you can always transfer into Rakuten if you feel like it. Other than that, yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything much, because this video here is like more towards for beginners who really want to open an account to really feel what it's like to be in the stock market. So my advice is like to take things slowly, and don't rush things that much. Take your time to learn. You can put in the cash first, yeah, because the thing is that if you have cash inside, you can always put in and it will generate interest, because it's like 1.7%, even more than your typical interest rate you would have in your typical bank savings account. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. I hope it's not too dense, or compact. I hope it's been info worthwhile for you to actually digest, to actually start opening an account and knowing that it's not a very scary thing. It's basically just like a stock market kind of savings account, if I like to put it in that kind of analogy. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends or family, anyone, and press the bell icon as well, to make sure you're updated my videos. And last but not least, remember to leave questions if you got any, because I really like to interact with you guys, to see what kind of questions you have, because I really like to help out in terms of like understanding and to make you a better investor, because at the end of the day, I also have a lot to learn from you guys as well, because there's a lot more that we can learn from those who just start out, as their questions may be a valuable region for us as content creators to actually focus at it, to make the investment landscape a better place, I suppose. That's all for now, and I'll see you next time, future tutorials. See ya.